Hey guys, Vol for Life here with a quick rundown of how to beat John Harbaugh as well as how to play with him, or at least my tips on how to play with him. Obviously, he's used by a lot of people, just like Nagy. He has lots of run challenges, and with the speed on the field, running is a lot more difficult than it was early on. But John Harbaugh also has a really nice playbook. There are some excellent run plays and pass plays in here that really expand out the playbook. Whether you're smash mouth, West Coast spread, whatever, there's just a really nice set of plays. The trap plays, halfback counter trap, for example, as well as wide trap, are ones both that if you have good blocking receivers, then these plays can actually go for pretty good yardage. And sometimes this wide trap I'll use for the bigger run challenges like the 15-yard challenges with Nagy or Harbaugh and be able to pass those. But I also have wide receivers with RBK stats of 70 or above so that they actually do hold on to their block. From the long pass perspective, there's several really good long pass plays. Reed dig has a really nice streak route as well as a curl and out route that you can hit. My favorites are Ravens Y shallow and Ravens halfback seam. Both of those have good crossing routes for the tight end that you can hit if you see that the deeper routes are not open. Ravens Y shallow gives you a good corner route that you can potentially hit that is often open, and then you also have the go route on that particular one and the underneath curl route, which is excellent. Sometimes the defense will back way off of that, and you can hit that curl route for nice yardage. And with that receiver going on the corner route above the curl, then what happens is a lot of times you'll hit that curl and that receiver is in perfect position to make a key block to get 10, 15, or even more yardage than that on this particular play. With Ravens halfback seam, again, we've got that crossing route with the tight end. We have 3 wide receiver go routes as well as a halfback route that can get some pretty good yardage if you watch the linebacker coverage on the halfback. And a lot of times, again, this is good for a one-play score or a nice yardage to the halfback if you've got that particular requirement from your captain. But again, all those are really nice plays. Halfback off tackle is another really good play if you have passing or good RBK from your wide receivers, as well as strong curl giving you, again, another good corner route with smash halfback check, being able to get those corner routes open in LvL or in OD. So I really like the playbook even compared to Nagy overall. Challenge-wise, his challenges generally are not as difficult to pass as Nagy's are, and you also don't have as many points on the challenges in general, so his final 2 challenges don't get to the 180 points that Nagy does. But what's nice about Harbaugh, obviously, is the point total. You only need a total of 10 OD points in order to fire all of his defensive challenges, and so usually, even when I'm playing with LT, for example, who has a 17-second OD timer, I can get through all the defensive challenges as well as the rush touchdowns boost and the reduced blitz before the end of any given match. And so that really gives you some flexibility in terms of your play calling because of that low number of OD points. So let's start with playing with Harbaugh and what I like to particularly do. The thing that I first start with is the minor blanket coverage, and I'll actually fire the purples in sequence because I want to get to this increase protect the sticks pretty quickly in there. His positioning of that particular defensive strategy is much better than Nagy's, which you have to hit that early on, leaving your defense wide open to deep pass plays early in the match potentially if you make the mistake of firing that challenge too early. Harbaugh has his positioned at the end of the match or towards the end of the match where you have to have fired quite a few challenges beforehand, making it where it's much more viable for the strategy that I'm outlining here. So usually I'll go minor blanket coverage and then I'll go minor Hail Mary so that I get those cornerback boosts and I get those 2 challenges right off the bat. Then I will fire the blanket coverage, which will give me the +4 pursuit on my corners, middle linebackers, and linebackers. And then finally, I will fire the adjust your defense to increase the protect sticks chance. Now, this will still leave about a minute or so where you're open to potentially having deep pass plays, go over top, but with this configuration, the next play that I'm going to fire, the next tactic I'm going to fire is the Hail Mary challenge. So because I'm in the increase protect the sticks chance, then when I fire fail Mary, the associated run challenge is going to be much more difficult for the opponent that I'm playing to be able to beat that challenge. And so they're in perfect position to make the stop on the run challenge that user is going to have to choose to either go for or fire to the end zone in order to try to beat that pressure. Then finally end with increased cushion, so that way if you're ahead in the game or the players usually try to start throwing deep towards the end, then hopefully you'll be at least in a good cushion coverage to be able to help make plays on the ball with your cornerbacks. So again, the way that I like to go through this is minor blanket coverage first, minor fail Mary second, then blanket coverage, then increase the protect the sticks, which is going to set up the defense hopefully in a better position to stop the next tactic, which will be the fail Mary, and then finally increase cushion 3. Now, when you're playing against Harbaugh, then you have to expect that you're going to get these sorts of run challenges pretty consistently. The first few are going to be 4-yard, 6-yard, 8-yard challenges. Those generally I'm going to run with halfback zone, or I'm going to use halfback dive, those sorts of plays to get those small 4-yardage, 5-yardage, and just hope that I get reasonable coverage on those particular plays. When you are seeing the longer yardages, then usually I'll switch out to halfback counter, or again, because I have good wide receiver blocking, then I can use wide trap, or I can use plays like a halfback trap, for example, to try to get more outside and get that long yardage that you need to actually successfully beat these challenges. In many instances with the early Harbaugh challenges, the 4 or 8 yard challenges where we're talking about 60-point challenges if they're maxed out, in those cases, those early ones especially where the coverage has not been boosted significantly, then I may go ahead and just try to shoot for the end zone and see if I can go ahead and get a score. Even though they'll get 60 points, I'll get 60 points for the touchdown as well as the yardage bonus and all that sort of stuff. So you have to kind of make that decision. If you see a good matchup early on against your wide receivers versus their corners, then you might be able to look at taking a strike at the end zone when you see especially that first 60-point minor blanket coverage challenge that will pop up. So when you're playing against Harbaugh as well, you want to look for when that increase to protect the sticks or increase cushion chance actually happens. Those two coverage changes are going to let you know what sort of opportunities that you may have. If they hit the increased cushion early in the match, then you know eventually they're going to get to a situation where they're probably going to fire the increase to protect the sticks and bring that coverage back down, which is potentially going to leave you options to just blast deep pass plays, Frisco, go routes, Hail Mary, those sorts of things, Ravens Y shallow, in order to beat that increase protect the sticks. And the same when you see that even fired, you're going to have generally 15 seconds or so, 10 seconds or so to where you can just fire those plays one right after the other when you see that increase to protect the sticks coverage, bringing the corners down to try to again hold that first down marker, but in doing that they're going to leave the deep pass plays many times open. And in those cases you want to look for the man coverage, specifically press coverage by the cornerbacks and those safeties dropping down, which you then know is going to probably give you a good over-the-top option to try to score. But watch for that increase protect the sticks. And then you have to keep track of what order the tactics have actually been fired. In terms of the offensive plays, when you see the rush touchdown bonus fire, then in those situations you want to make sure you try to take advantage of that if you can, if you're a pretty solid runner. Otherwise, you can try to counter that rule pretty quickly. If you see somebody's trying to line up against you, you can try to counter it with another play. If you are playing Harbaugh and you have a wide receiver rule like McCarthy, for example, I recommend not firing your wide receiver rule early on. You want to wait until they get the rush touchdown bonus and then potentially try to override that with your rule if you're not necessarily as comfortable running with the ball. It is nice with Harbaugh being able to get these offensive plays as well. The rush touchdowns bonus, you have to be careful using that because your opponent can also use that against you. So when I'm playing with Harbaugh, I'll usually wait until I'm right at the goal line And usually when I'm on, if I'm playing with LT, for example, I'll wait till I'm on my third halfback touchdown to fire that off as well. So that way I get the touchdown, the bonus, the captain bonus, as well as the rush touchdown bonus. But just be aware that many people, especially the good players, are going to be able to use that against you and rack up some pretty good points there. But if you're able to also fire the reduced blitz 3, especially towards the end of the match when you start getting more blitzing, for example, then this really can help open up the space to pass those Nagy run challenges or pass those Harbaugh run challenges and keep those defenders from just being right on top of you in the backfield to at least give you an opportunity to be able to beat the challenge. So that reduced blitz is going to adjust the blocking to where it's going to essentially try to make the effectiveness of the opponent's blitz reduced. And so you do have an opportunity to break big plays on that. And I almost never fire the final major fake out. So maybe as part of this video, let's go ahead into Overdrive and let's go ahead and try to play up a match. And I'll show you my scheme that I use particularly with John Harbaugh. So let's see what we can do. I'll show you my routine. Here we're playing against the vertical scheme with Graham, so we've got a big captain bonus coming that we know we have to watch out for, so we want to make sure we try to get ahead if we can and leave us a little bit of a cushion. So what I usually do is I start with strong curl. That's going to give me this corner route into the end zone that I'm going to try to hit and try to get my first touchdown. There we're just a little bit short, but that's okay. We've set ourselves up for a nice little halfback dive into the end zone, hopefully. On the next play, on second drive, I've noticed with spread is that usually halfback counter is going to give me a favorable coverage to where I can potentially get a good run unless I get tackled behind the line of scrimmage like that. So there you see I've fired off the second blue tactic. I'm going to try to get close up, see if we can get a score. So we've got a long pass challenge, 6 yards. Let's see if we can make anything happen. Here I've got my corner route here with the tight end that's going to be open, or in this case my slot receiver. And let's see if we can hit this strong curl again to try to give us another halfback touchdown here. So we wait till he makes the break, and then hopefully get in there, but he stopped on his route. Blanket coverage, so there I've fired my purple again. Trying to set that up to where we get that increase protect the sticks. There's our second halfback touchdown. Now I've got the increase protect the sticks, and hopefully that's going to set us up where we can stop that or make him potentially fail that next fail Mary pressure. Here I just want to get the yardage that I need for this challenge that was issued. And again, I'm going to fire here strong curl again, use my last one, hopefully be able to make this touchdown with LT and be able to get my bonus. And of course, throw another pick. That's the way it always goes in this when you're trying to make a video. So let's do halfback zone. Try to see if I can get just the 4 yards that I need for this particular challenge. And again, hopefully we can set up one more touchdown here with our halfback so that we can get our captain bonus with LT. So there we've got the tight end open across the field. Of course, another pick. Guys are not getting off the ball today. So there we have increased cushion. And now hopefully this is going to set up to where we can prevent any big throws against us. We'll go Ravens halfback seam, see if I can get the halfback open on his deep route. And there we have. We've set up our final score that we need. So hopefully this will give us a good lead. And here is where I might use this rush touchdown bonus, where I know I'm getting ready to go in the end zone, and this pops on just a hefty bonus on top of our captain bonus that we have. As you can see there, that's almost 400 points that we score right there with that particular move. And I'm going to use reduced blitz. This is going to get his guys off the top of me a little bit, give me some more space to be able to let my receivers get out. Should anyway. But there I let him get inside, or at least my lineman let him get inside. Let's do run play. Again, this is going to open it up with this reduced blitz where we have an opportunity to really take it to the house and close out the match pretty good. So here, able to get a win, but you kind of see the general process. Hopefully you won't throw as many picks as I did in that particular match. But again, you can see how we can use Harbaugh and how we can use his particular tactics to help make it so that we set the opponent up to where they potentially do not pass those challenges as easily. Hopefully this video is helpful as always. If you guys like the video, please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.